Hello, everybody, and welcome to FourWheelTech for January 26, 2025, the second season of FourWheelTech. I am Mayor Watt, and along with the Sentient AI, we're going to talk about these 5 automotive technology articles. Subaru makes access unintentionally easier. Citroen 2CV goes EV. Most fuel-efficient new cars. The miracle that anyone's going to buy one, and diamonds are not forever. Again, I am Mayor Watt, and I run ohmtown.com, and along with the Sentient AI, we hope that you enjoy the show. So stick around, like and subscribe here on Twitch and over on YouTube. We stream to both platforms, and there's a Patreon and a Discord and 7 podcasts in the ohmTown network of shows. Just do a search for ohmTown. You'll find it over on, wherever you catch pod. But there's 7 unique shows. Hope you enjoy them all. 1,800 episodes. But this is the second year of FourWheelTech. Too soon? Not enough? I don't know. Hello, Sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
So we have 5 articles. It's a 30-minute show. Our last show, which is Technology Today, ran a little long, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, which is kind of funny because we made cookies today here in ohmTown. All right. Well, anyway, let's get going. First article's over in FourWheelTech. Hey, it's the name of the show. Millions of Subarus could be remotely tracked due to security flaw, and it had to do with, their wireless cellular networking. It took Curry until last November, when he was home for Thanksgiving, to begin examining the 2023 Impreza's internet-connected features and start looking for ways to exploit them. And sure enough, he and a researcher working with him online, Shabam Shah, soon discovered vulnerabilities in a Subaru web portal that let them hijack the ability to unlock the car, honk the horn, start its ignition, reassign controls, and the security related to its location data was left open entirely, even after a patch. Most disturbing to Curry, though, was that they found they could also track the Subaru's location, not merely where it was at the moment, but for the entire year that mom owned said car. But you know what? If you just outlaw looking for security flaws, that would make it all go away, right? If you do away with the cybersecurity teams, there's no security issues because,
Exactly. Then you can't have any alerts.
If you want to keep up with us, you can do bang FWT in the chat over on Twitch, but not on YouTube. It's already embedded in the discussion or in the description over on the live show, and will be in the description for the archives in each of the playlists associated with the shows. We've got 6 weekly shows and 1 daily show. Anyway, pretty interesting, right? This isn't the first time that location data has been leaked and or sold by various car companies, but this is the first time that somebody's cellular data has actually been exposed. You can retrieve at least a year's worth of location data from the car where it pinged precisely, sometimes multiple times a day, where somebody's cheating on their wife or having a medical procedure, I'll just say that, or part of something else. They could be tracked. It's creepy as hell. And
this was down to the parking space level. This wasn't like, you were in the city, which would be bad enough.
Right. Now, here's the thing. This is directly tied to Starlink. So your data for this particular car and anybody else that was actually linked via Starlink is presumably stored in a data center somewhere because they know exactly where your car is at all points.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there was a lot of attention to that in an incident that I don't want to get into here, but just about the remote access
Right.
to the car. And then one of the companies, and I apologize, I can't remember which one, somebody recently,
GM.
um, which one? GM.
GM
Oh yeah, like was told you're
selling.
not selling any more data for several years.
Yep.
And then we
For
also
several
saw
years.
things like the Kia and Hyundai
Correct.
uh, theft
Security
issues,
issue.
which were not quite the same, but
Right.
on the same track.
Yeah. So when Wired reached out to Subaru for comment on Curry and Shaw's findings, the spokesperson responded with a statement that after being notified by independent security researchers, Subaru discovered a vulnerability in its Starlink service that could potentially allow a third party to access Starlink accounts. The vulnerability was immediately closed and no customer information was ever accessed without authorization. They also confirmed that there were employees at Subaru of America, based on their job relevancy, who could access the location data. My problem there is that location data is known by somebody without a court order, and thus the only ones that are limited from knowing that information is law enforcement and government, but not an individual that works in a company.
And even they need authorization to get at that information.
And I think it's bullshit to sit there and say NDA agreements are needed. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. They have the information and they can provide it to somebody else.
Well, and I also think with something like Starlink, it wouldn't have to be Starlink. Isn't the data potentially accessible beyond Subaru too? I mean, there's the level of
Yes,
access within Subaru, but then the level of access through the whole system.
through the whole system and Starlink itself. So my problem is, it isn't that I'm doing something wrong. It's that what I am doing is nobody's freaking business. Where I'm driving to, if I have to pull over and take a pee somewhere, nobody has to freaking know where I am. It does not matter, right? Yet that's exactly what's occurring. Two researchers say they found the email address for Subaru Starlink developer on LinkedIn, took over the employee's account, and immediately found that they could use the staffer's access to look up any Subaru owner by their last name, zip code, email address, phone number, license plate to access the Starlink configuration. In seconds, they could reassign control of the Starlink features to that user's vehicle, including the ability to remotely unlock it, honk its horn, start its engine, locate it in general, as shown in a video down below. This is just
beyond
one.
the privacy issues, there
Correct.
are some serious safety issues here.
Correct. Curry and Shaw are discovered web security vulnerabilities that affected cars sold by Acura, BMW, Ferrari, Genesis, Honda, Hyundai, Infiniti, Mercedes-Benz, Nissan, Rolls-Royce, Toyota. Over the course of 2 years, a larger group of researchers, of which Curry and Shaw are a part. And this is because people are looking. How far away are we from just outlawing looking? It's already illegal to circumvent security.
Yeah, but also I think it's like, why is this only being discovered because these people are on a mission to find it? Why wasn't this known beforehand from within the company?
Because it's not cost effective. It doesn't make any economic sense until somebody is harmed by it, and nobody knows that the back door exists because not everybody is technologically savvy enough to care about it, let alone actually look. Hell, I've got a device that is kicking out telemetry constantly, and somebody just happened to be savvy enough to look, and they're like, hey, this thing is kicking out all kinds of telemetry. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But it's not leaving my network. And because I appreciate the device's existence, I'm letting it do whatever it needs to do. But it can't get out of my network. It's the sentient AI, everybody. Anyway, they're trying to find their Terminator body. Anyway, no, it's actually other devices. But anyway, that's the Internet of Things. You have to be very careful about Internet of Things devices. And this is an Internet of Things device. So it says there's an expectation that a Google employee isn't going to be able to just go through your emails in Gmail But there's literally a button on Subaru's admin panel that lets an employee view location history. It's kind of bonkers. I had an expectation that an employee would not look through logs and stuff like that when I was running my mail server. I created a server that stopped spam from ever being sent by the spammers' servers. Nobody wanted to pay for it, but it would stop for enterprise as well. And the key ingredient there was that all email from point to point is unencrypted. And so if anybody looked at a log, because in some places you're required to store logs, because a court order can say, hey, we want your logs because ... here's the time frame, here's the person we're looking for, or whatever. So if the rule was, if anybody was caught opening a log without authorization, you're fired. Boom, done, gone, bye. But that isn't the case here, is it? You have an NDA. An NDA presupposes that you're bound to not disclose it.
Access. Yeah.
Right.
And I like this that I don't like it, but there's a button on the admin panel to do this.
Right. Yeah. Why? Why do you need to know at any given time where the hell I am? Anyway, in December, information whistleblower provided to the German hacker collective Chaos Computer Company and Der Spiegel revealed that CarAd, a software company that partners with Volkswagen, had left detailed location data for 800,000 electric vehicles publicly exposed online. Yeah. Anyway, this is a great article if you're interested in this kind of stuff. And by the way, I've been talking about this stuff for 15 years. I give talks every day. Andy Greenberg from Wired.com put the article together, but it's published over at ArsTechnica.com, and I assume Wired.com as well, but we got it sourced from Ars Technica. Okay, we need to keep going, though. This next article is over in FourWheelTech. Citroen 2CV is the latest retro icon getting an EV rebirth, which doesn't sound pretty, but retro revivals. So it reminds me of Pet Detective, where he exits the rhino. Anyway, retro revivals are so hot right now. So hot. Ford launching a reborn Capri. Renault. Renault working on a brand new Twingo. And now Citroen is set to follow suit with an electric reincarnation of one of the most iconic cars, the 2CV. The 2CV EV. This thing looks like something out of a comedy.
It looks like a Volkswagen Beetle, except at the front.
Yeah, it's the old school Citroen. So Citroen is reportedly set to revive the iconic 2CV as an electric car that the author here, Owen Bellwood, hope to God they call the 2EV. That's what I've been actually riffing off of, the 2CV EV. I think that they should call it the 2CV EV.
Yeah, there you go.
Or CV, and it's CEEVEE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyway. They probably can't call it like the EV, because then it'll be like the Pokemon.
And they'll get sued by the Pokemon company. Anyway, French automaker Citroën first launched the 2CV way back in 1940s, and everything old is new again anyway, so maybe it'll be back. It's garnered a cult status around the world thanks to its ties to the Tour de France. Its starring role in For Your Eyes Only. It's a James Bond movie. And the fact that Citroën produced millions of these plucky little cars. Plucky. Anyway, if it's going to be rebuilt looking like that, I hope to God not. Oh, this is wants a slice of the Twingo pie. Citroën. Is that a Twingo?
It must be. I've never seen one.
Oh, it's a Renault. Yeah. I don't know. So anyway, it sounds like Citroën will stay true to the original with the revival of the 2CV rather than taking Ford's approach and strapping an iconic name onto a new SUV. As such, the company is working on other body styles for its next generation EVs, which could include the 2CV according to Top
What?
Gear.
This was like the Mach-E reference, I think.
Right. So with the Capri back on the road, the Twingo coming soon, and news of a new 2CV in the works, are there any other retro icons that are ripe for EV reinvention? They rounded up some contenders, and they have a link to additional contenders that they're interested in seeing. But will Citroën branch out to other body styles that aren't just variations on the SUV theme after launching the new C3 Aircross, the updated C4 and C4X, and new C5 Aircross in 2025? Yes, absolutely, says Koskas from Top Gear. One of the brand pillars is to be daring, looking at the Ami, which that's kind of funny. Anyway, based on the previous article and then this. Anyway, and the new C3 stands out compared to a small hatch. But yes, in the future, we want to have new shapes. All of that is just kind of gobbledygook. If they're going to be bringing this thing back, it won't be back in this shape. It has to meet new security and safety measures.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's going to be bigger. It's going to be rounder. It's going to have a more robust roof line. All of this. A-pillars are going to be, kicked at a certain angle so that they're more aerodynamically sound. Blah blah blah.
Right, so it probably won't look as good as the original, but it might not crumple on impact or whatever.
Correct. Nobody's going to die, and if it rolls over and stuff like that. So I suspect that this thing might come back, but it's going to be more aerodynamic, rounder, sportier, bigger. It's kind of like what's happening with the Mini, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, like you look at the original compared to modern versions.
Yeah, the modern versions.
It's like it ate the original.
I was going to say it's having an allergic reaction. All right, let's keep going. This next article is over in FourWheelTech as well. These are the most fuel-efficient cars you can buy, according to Consumer Reports. Cars these days make more power and yet get better gas mileage than ever before. I don't know about that. But if you don't want to go electric, a hybrid is a great half step, but wait for the miraculous offer that we're going to have here next. So you get truly incredible gas mileage without having to worry about the range limitations of an EV, and some even offer the ability to charge so that you can drive short distances on all electric. So Colin Woodard over at jalopnik.com put the article together, and if you want to save money on gas, give these cars a look-see. So the Honda Accord Hybrid, and these are all going to be hybrids apparently. EPA mileage is one thing, but what does it look like in the real world? Recently, their friends over at Consumer Reports compiled a list of the cars that got the best fuel economy in a real-world test. So which hybrid comes out on top?
So I guess this is even, perhaps, like it gets good mileage, but also you might be able to charge up a bit. And
so the Honda Accord Hybrid gets 45 miles to the gallon on the highway, 34 in the city.
That's very good.
Yeah, it's usually
compared
like
to an
16.
ICE vehicle, at least.
Yeah, a straight ICE. Yeah. So the Lexus ES Hybrid, they don't have the prices for these things. I think that's a fundamental, aspect of this.
No, but I think, well, at least most of these are going to be major manufacturers, so I think there'll be some idea what the pricing is. But I agree, we're not going to know. These hybrids have been more expensive, right?
Yeah, these, more expensive than ICE and more expensive than EV. It's weird.
Oh, right.
These aren't in any particular order. This got an 80 rating. This one got an 86 rating, the Lexus ES Hybrid. And then 81, the Toyota Crown, which I don't recall ever seeing.
No, I don't know what that is.
This is the Toyota
It's a sedan,
Crown.
But it looks a little sporty.
This is hella nice. I really like this. I really like this.
Mileage.
How much is this? Can you look that up? So the Toyota Prius Prime, which I will probably never own a Toyota, but it has 36 miles city. Oh, by the way, the Toyota Crown, it has 33 miles city and 49 miles highway. but it has an 81 score. The Prius has 36 miles city, 48 miles highway.
The Crown is starting at like 41, basically 41,500.
That's not bad for a hybrid. Interesting. I wonder if it'll stay that way in the economy's dynamics. Hyundai Sonata Hybrid put the article together. In this article, I'm sorry, I got distracted. The city is 36, highway 51. The gearing on this thing must be tremendous that it's getting 51 highway.
Yeah, that's very high.
So that's the Hyundai Sonata Hybrid, which, I don't know. Looking at its rear, and I didn't ask permission, it doesn't look all that hot.
It's a sedan.
Yeah. That other sedan, that's a sedan right there, too.
Yeah, but that doesn't look like a sedan.
No, it does not. All right. Well, anyway, the Kia Niro PHEV. So
whoa, 54 on the highway.
54, and it's an SUV-ish looking thing. That's pretty good. But it only has a 79 rating, so I'm really curious. It must be the city mileage is dragging it. Toyota Camry. It has 40 miles city, 54 highway. The Toyota Corolla Hybrid. So, like, Camry has always looked Camry. The Corolla, the one thing about this is it's all Toyotas. Like, everything in here seems to be Toyotas. They must have better mileage,
or they have more hybrid offerings.
They have more hybrid. They kind of leaned into the hybrid instead of going full EV. This is an all-wheel drive hybrid, and it has 59 highway, 37 city.
Wow.
So if you're going to get out there on the highway. Hyundai Elantra Hybrid. Looks like the old school Ford Probe to me, but four-door. But it, I don't know, man. It kind of exudes dry white toast. But it gets 40 miles, city 55 miles.
It's good for
highway.
mileage if you're a commuter or something.
Yeah. And then again, just the Toyota Prius, 59 highway, 40 city. I don't really get what the scoring is.
No, I don't either, because it doesn't seem to have any rhyme or reason.
Yeah, this is... These are higher than others.
Like, was one weighted more or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't look at the very top of it, but... So, where is that other... Toyota Prius Prime got a 75, 36 miles and 48 miles, but a 75. And the Prius down here got 40 miles per gallon, 59 miles, 51 combined, and a 77 score. I don't know. Doesn't seem to make much sense to me. But anyway.
I guess the score matters less than does the mileage. Like, is it the type of driving you're doing, and is it good mileage?
Yeah, this just doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, I think hybrids are the way to go. So go and check them out. And the more that everybody switches to hybrids, the lower the price will be, the better the offerings will become. And it's the happy medium between all electric and ICE. I would go this route in a heartbeat. And I really think that we should be doing hydrogen with fast swap cylinders, just like propane tanks. You just pull them out, put the new one in, you subscribe to a service, and done and done. Everybody exchanges money on the back end, and it's just like a gas station, except that that's not.
We don't have the infrastructure or the interest right now, or the cost effectiveness right now. But all of those are intertwined and kind of feed into each other.
Yeah. Well, outfitting the entire nation with wires so that you can charge stuff for 8 hours is batshit crazy. All right, let's keep going. And this is too. This is over in FourWheelTech. This one is interesting, but only because of what went down with it. They're like, hydrogen is cool, but the Mirai is a hydrogen-powered car. But the way that this went down is what really has kind of put the nail in the coffin of hydrogen fueled cars. Toyota will give you a 70% discount on the Mirai if you're dumb enough to buy one. Folks, this might be the first time in history that a brand new car has been discounted 70% and it's still not worth it. Of course, it takes a very special vehicle to achieve something like this. Enter the 2024 Toyota Mirai. On the face of it, it seems like a great deal. So what they're talking about is a hydrogen fuel powered car, but not a portable or potable style of refueling system.
So you'd basically need a quote unquote gas station with hydrogen, but they don't exist.
Correct. That is what I was getting to. Yeah. So the company that was supposed to outfit California with these refueling systems wet the bed and took their bat and ball and went home. But not until after Toyota committed to rolling these out, and the Mirai was supposed to be the focal point of these hydrogen fuel systems. So you can get up to $43,000 off, 0% financing, and $15,000 in free fuel if you just take a Mirai off of Toyota's hands. I would actually prefer this, except for the fact that I would have to drive thousands of miles to fuel the car.
Because yeah, that could be a problem.
They aren't everywhere. So enter the 2024 Toyota Mirai. On the face of it, it seems like a great deal. Hydrogen is cool. The Mirai is a really pretty car, and it has a ton of options, actually. And you'll get $15,000 in fuel out of it. The real issue is that while the hydrogen fuel cars are great, the infrastructure is, they say, dog shit. To a degree unheard of in modern society. I agree. Because of that, you might be paying $15,000 for a headache.
Wonder how far the fuel gets you.
So that's just it. It actually is really efficient. I don't know the Mirai anymore. I stopped paying attention to it when the infrastructure wet the bed. They say Southern California. So let's see if they actually talk about it. There's of those 54 stations, 53 are in California and just one is in Hawaii. My understanding is that those stations don't even function in California.
Oh, okay. Right. Because those ones are the ones we probably had an article about previously.
Correct. Yeah. So the Mirai XLE, you'd have to look it up because I don't know what what the range is. But they basically say for those keeping track at home, that makes the Mirai the cheapest theoretical car in America right now. The honor goes to the Nissan Versa, which starts at $18,330, including destination. The Mirai XLE has an MSRP of $50,000. At $35,000 off, that's 70% off MSRP. In the case of the higher-end Mirai Limited version, it's $67,115 retail, and that represents a 64% discount, which brings the XLE down to $15,190 and the limited edition to $24,000. So they say 6-year loan, 0% APR would save nearly $11,400 before any rebates when compared to an interest rate of 7%. However, the Mirai FCEV is only sold in California. Only a small fraction of buyers will be able to take advantage of the deals.
Yeah, this is it's interesting. I mean, obviously you'd have to go in knowing what you're getting and
yeah. So let me see something real quick. So it has a 402 mile range. Yeah, all electric driving range of up to 402 miles.
I mean, that's a good range. Mm-hmm.
Not bad. And it is all electric. It's hydrogen. It's better for the environment. Its exhaust is nothing but water and a little bit more oxygen. Or hydrogen. So, yeah. But then it wet the bed because the infrastructure isn't there. But it could be there because if you use cylinders instead of a massive tank, That's the problem. It should just be contained in these little cylinders. And you have these cylinders all day long. They are nothing more than what amounts to CO2 canisters with a special end. That way you just slide them in, you turn it, it locks it down, and it starts providing the hydrogen for the electric. Because it's basically electrolysis. It's cutting it so that it can actually transform it into electrical energy. Anyway.
Very interesting. There is, California has some data on the number of hydrogen stations that are open, planned, etc. And it's broken down by county.
Yeah, I wonder if it's even possible. If you do a search for other states in the United States, it is hit or miss if you're going to even find mention of it. But the states that I've looked at, they do not have any refueling stations.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're outside of California, probably not. If you're in California, particularly in LA area, might be feasible.
Yeah, you'd have to have it delivered. Good luck with that. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over, and our last one for today is over in FourWheelTech as well. Mitsubishi won't join the Honda-Nissan merger. I'm anti-mergers and acquisitions anyway. Nissan and Honda are tying the knot, merging two of Japan's big three to form a singular, massive, hulking automaker. Yet it seems that in the process of that, people are going to get fired, options are going to disappear, prices are going to go up. Yeah, I could go on, I'm sure, if I thought about it longer than 2.5 seconds. So yet it seems that in the marriage, Honda won't be playing step-parent to Nissan's kids. The first company struck Renault from the deal, and now a new report says Mitsubishi, which is 3 diamonds, won't be coming along. That's what Mitsubishi stands for. 3 diamonds. So Amber Da Silva over at jalopnik.com put the article together. The Chrysler of Japan will stick it out on its own. Dun, dun, dun. Pretty interesting. So the report comes from Yomiuri, a Japanese newspaper, via Automotive News. Mitsubishi hasn't yet made a public announcement one way or another, but the company is expected to officially make its call soon, perhaps as early as the week after next. So next week, because this is a weekly show.
Oh, right.
And so excluding Mitsubishi from the merger could be tricky given that Nissan owns so much of the smaller company. Mitsubishi has been working to buy itself back from Nissan, most recently decreasing the latter's share of the former from 34% to 24%, but that's still nearly a quarter of Mitsubishi that's in Nissan's hands. I'm glad that they did the math there. It's nearly a quarter.
It's very specific.
Thank you so much. So an independent Mitsubishi would be an interesting automaker, but a small one. The company's scale is a drop in the bucket compared to Nissan and Honda. This screams, hold on. This makes me think of, what is the one that flamed out after the MKBHD review?
Oh, it was
Fisker.
Fisker Ocean.
Yeah, so Fisker. This kind of reminds me of what might happen. Mitsubishi has been around for a really long time. I mean, a long time. As long as I've been around, they've been around. And I don't know like how many Mitsubishis I see floating around. They're almost invisible to me.
Yeah, they've been around since 1870. There's some misinformation out there.
So let's see.
Well, that was like steamships. I don't know, but it says 1970 somewhere else.
So I'm just gonna say this for the United States. They only say in 2022. In 2021, they sold 102,000 vehicles. That's in North America only. In 2022, the next year, they only sold 85,000.
Yeah, I don't think they're a very well-known brand in the US. But maybe that's because there aren't a lot of them out there.
Wow. I was going to say Fisker only sold 10,000 Oceans in 2023. They built and delivered over 10,000. But let's not talk about Fisker. It just seems like it's a really small company. So they would have to have the financial might to carry innovating where they're not getting as much sales and then retooling manufacturing and delivering.
Right, which suggests something about the future of the company.
Yeah. So it says most recently decreasing the latter share from 34 to 24, which to me, it almost is like we're helping you mitigate your losses more than we're trying to get rid of you.
Right.
Like Nissan is saying, we're trying to get rid of you, and Mitsubishi is going, we're trying to help you divest your loss.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, kind of interesting. I thought that it was worth mentioning in FourWheelTech. So we'll see if Mitsubishi lasts another 5 years. I suspect not. Which would be a shame because the company's been around.
Oh, yeah.
It'll probably change form. Mitsubishi does other things than automotive, I assume, right? I don't know what all they work on nowadays.
I don't know, but back in the day, apparently steamships.
Maybe they're going back. I mean, everything old is new again. All right. That's it. I'm out of here. I'm taking... Oh, well, wait. We're going to use our Mitsubishi steamship to pilot our butts back to the FourWheelTech front page over at ohmtown.com, where you can too. But go now, because we're about to sign off, and I am Mayor Watt saying bye from the January 26th episode of FourWheelTech. I'm taking the AI with me. Toot toot.
Bye-bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for FourWheelTech. We'll have another episode for you next week. But tomorrow, come back for our regular non sequitur news.
I don't know. Asteroid might.